are going to be making oatmeal burgers. These burgers are simple, affordable, and delicious, and your whole family will love them. So let's get started. So what we're going to do first is start with 4 cups of oatmeal. Pour them in the bowl. Then we have 2 tablespoons of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of salt, and 1 tablespoon of pepper. Dump this in. And here we have parsley flakes, 2 tablespoons. And then we have deal weed, and that's a tablespoon. We'll add that. We also have a smoked paprika, 1 tablespoon, or 1 teaspoon. 1 teaspoon of paprika, and also a teaspoon of celery seed, ground. Then we're going to grind in our coffee grinder 2 tablespoons of fennel seed, a fourth of a teaspoon of red pepper flakes, and we also have rosemary. Okay, from here we will just stir it up to make sure our ingredients are well mixed. And it smells wonderful so far. So we'll also need a binder. Now here you have options. I'm going to use 3 eggs, but you can also use 3 tablespoons of ground flaxseed with 2 tablespoons of water per tablespoon of flaxseed. So that would be 6 tablespoons of water to 3 tablespoons of ground flax seeds. You stir it and let it sit until it becomes gelatinous, and then you add it to your mix. But I'm going to use eggs today. Reasons why I make these oatmeal burgers is partially because I try to feed my children healthily, and I have a son who despises oatmeal. He has a gag reflex and just simply will not eat oatmeal. So I came up with this recipe. Has been altered and changed throughout the years, but he absolutely loves these, and this is the only way I can get him to eat oat water. This is a little dry. Now, these burgers, as you stir them, you will be able to gauge whether or not you need more moisture with them. The moisture is just going to add, it's just going to fluff up the oatmeal so that you can form it a little better. It's a little dry, so I'm going to go ahead and add 1 cup of water. So as we stir this, you can see that it begins to come together. And you can let it sit for 30 minutes before you go ahead and make your burgers. As a matter of fact, that's what we'll do. We'll let it sit, and then I'm going to take you over to the stove and show you how I do the broth. We will take these and use them in the broth. Now, one of the reasons why I think you should try these burgers is because in today's society, our meat has become contaminated, and we are really encouraging people to go back to a plant-based diet, which is God's original diet for us. And here we are, we can experience health the way God wants us to, without the chemicals and the hormones that are placed within the animal foods. So now we're going to make a simmering broth, and we're going to use 4 cups of water, a Goya seasoning pack, and 2 tablespoons of McKay vegetarian beef broth. Now this is what our broth should look like. We'll take a spoon and stir it to get all the seasonings mixed together. And then what we're going to do is we're going to place it on medium to high heat, so we get a good boil. We'll place the lid back on it, and then we'll continue with our burgers. Okay, we're going to need to heat our pan up with a couple tablespoons of, with a good amount of oil to cover the bottom of the pan. Put it on 4 and let it warm. Now that we're done with this, and while it's warming, we're going to move back over to the burgers and make them. Now, one thing I have discovered is that these can get pretty thick, so if you want to use them for like a Salisbury steak to do a gravy over them and let them simmer with onions and peppers, you can do that. Or my friend has let me know that she likes them thinner. She likes thinner burgers. But here's what they look like when they come out. You just pop them out of the ring. And you have a perfect burger. If you do not have a canning jar lid, you can oil your hands, and that helps to keep the oatmeal from sticking to you. But you can also use your hand like a C, and you can form your burgers this way. And that will give you a uniform burger as well. See? Now we're going to go over and we're going to fry them. Let me wash my hands first. I think we can get all 5 of them now. Smells good, you guys. Just trying to heat up a little bit more. Now the health benefits of oatmeal, it's really good because you get your magnesiums and your different minerals and nutrients. And oatmeal is very, very versatile. You can use it in smoothies. You can use it as a savory dish like we're doing with the burgers. You can also use it for breakfast cookies. You can do all kinds of things with oatmeal. And so this is one of the reasons why I would recommend using oatmeal as opposed to some of the other products, because it is so easily available to you and affordable, and it's also really good for you. So I'm turning this one. It's a little too soon, but what you want is a good hard a crust on here. I want it a little browner, so we'll turn it up just a little bit more, but not too dark. Now the oatmeal is still a little dry on the inside, and this is what we're going to be using our broth for. And I know when I first learned the secret to making really good moist burgers out of oatmeal, I was really surprised, and I thought that my oatmeal burgers were going to fall apart, but they don't. They really don't. That's where the magic happens, in the broth. Okay, so now we're going to remove these. They're kind of crunchy, and you would think, oh man, these will be terrible, but we're not done yet. Hold on. But you want a nice brown on there. And then we're going to add our last ones. Alright. And while these are browning, we're going to go ahead and move to our boiling. Ooh, this is hot. Oh. Should have used. We're going to use some tongs and put these in the boiling water. And they have to boil for 20 minutes so that all that moisture gets into every piece of oatmeal, and this is what's going to give you your meaty texture. All right, now that it's been 20 minutes, we're going to take our burgers out of the water the broth that it's been boiling in. Now, look at this. Plumped up, looks meaty, looks like a burger, right? We're going to place it on the paper towel to drain some of the fluid off of it so it doesn't pop at you when you get ready to brown it again on both sides. Get as much moisture out as you can. Those look wonderful, and I know they taste wonderful too. The flavors, you can use any flavor combination that you want, as long as you just have the basic idea of what these burgers are supposed to be like. You can turn them to anything. So if you like a Mexican flair, use Mexican flavors. If you like spicy, use spicy. If you like Italian, mix some Italian seasoning in there. It all works. And your broth that you boil it in will add flavor to it. So if you want like a chickeny flavor, then instead of using the beef McKays, use the chicken flavor McKays. Your creativity is limited by your own imagination. So now we're going to turn this broth off. Put the lid back on. And we're going to return these to the skillet. Brown them on both sides. And then we're going to plate them up so that you can see how wonderful they are. And then we'll make a sandwich for you. All right, we'll move them to the plate. Finish frying these. Just browning them on both sides to give them a nice sear. Get this out of the way. Finished burgers. They are fun and healthy, and you can turn them into taco meat. You can have them as burgers or smother them in a mushroom gravy and have them for dinner. And here is your finished product as a burger, and your family will love them.
Wow, that's a pretty good burger.
There you have it.